coming through the power of the internet and virtual, et cetera, et cetera. So let us start with a prayer, please. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for your wonderful hand upon us. We thank you for your hand of protection. We thank you for your hands of blessing. It is a blessing to be able to come together and learn from each other and to help each other to grow. Lord, we just ask that you have your hand upon this country and its leaders, and then you help the current leaders and the new leaders and anyone who aspires to be a leader to work towards healing this land and not separating this land and separating this people. Lord, bring us back to a full knowledge of you, and may you continue to bless this country and bless us and bless our efforts in Jesus' name. Amen. So I am not going to punish the people who are here on time. Again, you should have gotten something in your email specifically asking you to go ahead and register for the Facebook page. You should have gotten a handout, and you should have printed out your handout. Let me see from a show of hands who printed out the handout. Yay, wonderful. It worked. Sometimes technology works. It's a blessing, yes. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. That be okay with you guys? Yeah, yeah. And feel free, I've got everybody muted, so feel free to just answer me through the chat box as I ask questions and as we go along. Would that be okay? Yes? Yeah, okay. All right, so let me go ahead and share screen. And again, I do not plan on going too late or too long today because it is a kickoff session, but let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to the all new 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. I've had several people ask me, Sherman, why are you doing this? And as many people realize, if you don't realize, I'll tell you a quick story. I created the 21 Days to Real Estate Riches program after having spent a number of weeks and months and almost a full year coaching, training, teaching people how to get in real estate by letting them look over my shoulder. And a look over my shoulder program is a very powerful program, both in terms of helping people get started, as well as in terms of, quite frankly, making a little extra money. And so some of you who may or may not know my story, you know that I had been laid off twice in the early 1990s. And when I was laid off the second time, I made a personal vow to myself, which is I vowed that nobody would ever sign my paycheck again other than me. And I've held true to that vow going on some 20 plus years now, almost really 27 or 28 years now, almost 30 years. I have been in business for myself. And my business has changed, as all businesses change. But the bottom line is I've not held a job or needed a job or wanted a job for close to 30 years, because I learned how folks really make money in this country. And I learned how to start a business that has been successful despite its ups and downs. And in many ways, I'm feeling some of the same things that you guys are feeling. I may not be feeling it now, but in times past, I felt it. I remember in my early days of running my business, not my real estate business, it was a different kind of business, my government contracts business. I remember distinctively having just enough money to either pay for the phone or pay the mortgage. And I opted not to pay the mortgage, but pay the phone, because if somebody had called me to hire me as a consultant, I needed to be able to have a phone that worked, whereas I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to pay the mortgage. I know what it's like to have the sheriff knock on your door and tell you that your house is about to go in foreclosure. I've been there, done that. Now it's been 30 some years, but I've still been there and I still remember the pain. I know what it's like to go out early in the morning and beat the repo man when he's there to repossess your car, only to have him beat you a week later and watch your car going down the street when the repo man's towing it away. So I get it. I understand completely. And I fully understand what it means to stand in a grocery line and you got somebody with you, like your child or something, and you don't have enough money to check out and buy groceries. Of course, everybody's got self-checkout now, but I remember standing there at the grocery line and having the woman say to me that my credit cards had failed and wanting to know what items I had on the conveyor belt she wanted me to put back. And not a hoot when you got, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old hanging on your arm going, Daddy, what's wrong? So I've been there. I know what it feels like. And I also know what it feels like to not have money problems. I also know what it feels like to be blessed of God and not have to worry about that part of your life. Obviously, you'll have other things to worry about, but hopefully, as we go through this course together over the next 21 days, and you guys actually apply the things that I'm teaching you, please write that down. If you came prepared tonight, you came prepared with something to write with, whether or not you brought your handout, printed out, or you're just using a pad of paper, doesn't really matter. But if you came prepared to write. please write that down. Write it down. Because you're going to want to refer back to your notes. If you do the things I ask you to do over the next 21 days, money problems will be in your rearview mirror. Money problems will no longer be your problems. Got it? But if you fail to do the things that I instruct you to do, then don't expect anything we do together over the next 21 days to work for you. And I'll tell you a dirty little secret. It is sad, but it is true. We had close to 100 people sign up for tonight's session, and they were still, and that was a surge. We had like 80 or so on Friday, and we had 100, so it was surging. We are now about 5, 6, 7 minutes into our training today, and 55 people have shown up. So what happened to the other 45 people? Well, life got in their way. I would strongly suggest to those 45 people, if they paid for this, because some folks did, some folks didn't, they ought to just go ahead and call Lisa tomorrow and get a refund. Because if you can't show up, if you can't write things down, if you can't do the homework assignments I'm going to give you, what you're really saying is you're not committed to your own success. And no matter how hard I try, no matter how much I do, no matter how many insights I give you, if you're not committed to your own success, you're not going to be successful in anything, especially real estate. And oh, by the way, real estate is the one business out there that I've ever participated in that rewards you for what you do, not for what you know, not for who you know, not for what school you went to, school you didn't go to, who your mama was, who your daddy was. No, real estate rewards you for what you do. It is the purest and most democratic form of business I've ever seen in my life. I've literally seen people who barely got out of high school become multimillionaires in real estate. And I've seen people with multiple degrees fail at real estate. As the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. That must have been a real estate person who said that. If you get out there and you do the things I'm teaching you to do and you hustle, put effort behind it and hustle, you will be successful. I have no doubt about that. And it doesn't matter what degrees you have or don't have. I've seen people basically living out of a cardboard box still become successful in real estate. And I've seen people with advanced degrees sit around and think of every reason in the world why what I teach will not work. And guess what? For them, it doesn't. So when you apply, isn't that when I started this little diatribe? When you apply what I'm teaching, you should expect success, but you've got to apply it. All right. So all new 21 Days of Real Estate Riches. Why do we need an all new 21 Days of Real Estate Riches? Sherman, what's wrong with the old one? Nothing. Nothing. However, it's 20 years old. And the core concepts still work, but the delivery mechanism has changed radically. As many of you guys know, my son and his very good friend from high school were the 2020 Investors of the Year. They've closed 4 deals in 2020 and well on their way as we move into the new year. And they got started as real estate investors at the beginning of 2020. And I remember when they came to me and asked me if I would help them get started in real estate. Dave's good friend Jeremiah had a friend of his mother's who was a real estate agent who he approached about teaching him or working with him to get into the real estate investing game. And after 10, 15 minutes or so of talking to him, she told him he was too young, too broke, and no way he was going to be successful in this business, and just about broke his spirit. And he remembered that his good buddy Dave from high school had a dad who was somehow, some way involved in real estate, as David would say. And so David texted me from his dorm room. At the time he was a freshman at Towson University. He texted me from his dorm room and said, "Hey Dad, is there any chance that we can get together with my friend Jeremiah who wants to learn the real estate business?" And it was fairly close to Thanksgiving holiday. So I said, "Well, tell you what, when you come home next week or the week after, whatever it was for Thanksgiving, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you guys and tell you what I know." And so I sat down with them and I gave them the same test I give everybody. I'm not bragging when I say this, but my name is almost a household name in the DC area when it comes to real estate. If you Google real estate investing, you'd be hard pressed not to have my name come up. So I get a lot of people reaching out to me through Facebook Messenger. By the way, don't ever do that because I don't respond to it. But reaching out to me Facebook Messenger, calling the office, texting me, or coming to club meetings when we were doing live club meetings saying, hey, Sherman, I want to be a real estate investor. Will you, can I buy you a cup of coffee? Can I? So I've put up this sort of screening mechanism that doesn't let people get direct access to me, because a lot of people, quite frankly, think they want to be real estate investors, but they're not really serious. And I've learned the hard way, they just want to waste your time. So when Dave and Jeremiah came and sat down with me, and I don't care if he's my own flesh and blood, and started talking about they want to be real estate, I kind of assumed the same thing I assume about most people, which is they weren't serious. So I have my own little set of questions that I ask people to see how, sort of test them and see how serious they are. And sure enough, they came out with flying colors. So I said, well, you guys wait here. I'm gonna go to the office. So my house is exactly 7 minutes from the Realinvestors Academy. By the way, that's by design. I designed my life 20 some years ago, or I should say I designed my business some 20 years ago to support my lifestyle, not vice versa. If there's something I don't want to do, I don't do it. If there's someplace I don't want to go, I don't go there. If there's a client I don't want to deal with, I don't deal with them. My place at this point in time, because of the blessings, is such that I don't just have to go out and chase the dollar bill. And because I don't have to chase the dollar bill, I don't. So when the time came that I was fortunate enough to be able to buy a building, God gave us the resource to buy a building. I wasn't going to buy a building halfway around the world. I was going to buy a building that I had to go commute and sit in traffic for. I was going to buy a building that was convenient for me and my staff, and they know this. I tell them it all the time. Well, not all the time. I don't want to be cocky and arrogant. But my staff, some of them sit in 20, 30, 40 minutes worth of traffic because the building is located where it's convenient for me, not convenient for anybody else. Thank goodness for the glory and the power of digital, because now nobody has to leave their bedroom. Nobody even has to put clothes on. And some of y'all in pajamas, you need to just go ahead and block yourselves out or get better pajamas. But in any event, so I went to the office and I grabbed 2 copies of the 21 Days of Real Estate Riches, one for Dave, one for Jeremiah, or Neil. He also goes by Neil. And I remember giving Neil his first, because that's what you do with guests. And I gave my son his second. And Dave took one look, he opened it up and took one look and he said, "What are these?" I got a copy of the 21 Day, the previous version of 21 Day course here. I think they're in here. Maybe, we'll see. Yeah, here we go. And he said, "What are those?" And I said, "They're CDs." He's like, "What's that?" Talk about making somebody feel old. And what it suddenly dawned on me was that there's a whole generation of people who don't have CD players in their car. I mean, for them, a CD is like, for me, an 8-track tape, and that's when it kind of hit me. Sooner or later, you're probably going to need to redo the 21 Day course, not to change the content. The content doesn't really need to be changed, tweaked here and there, yes, but to really change the delivery mechanism, because so many people today are not interested in being bothered with paper and physical, stuff. They want it all in digits. They want it digital. They don't want it in atoms. They want it in digital format, electronic format. So I had already started thinking, maybe it's time to update 21 Day course. And as I started doing it, it suddenly dawned on me, this is probably something I should have done a few years ago. But, time and events and things being what they are, sometimes you have an idea to do something, but you don't necessarily act on it. Well, the time came to act on it. And it just seemed to me that the best way to just go ahead and update this course was just to go ahead and update this course. And that's what I've been working on pretty solid since this Thanksgiving. I've been working on it pretty solid for about 2 months now, more or less. And I said, well, why don't I just go ahead and deliver it digitally, record it, and then make it available. So here's a scoop. If you already have the 21 Day course, you should have gotten an invite to participate, and it shouldn't cost you anything. If you don't already have a 21 Day course, then we made it available to you for a very modest fee, $297, with the understanding and the commitment that when the course is over, you're going to give us some kind of a testimonial and an evaluation. And I expect that evaluation to be open and honest. If you think that I have fallen flat on my face, not so far, like I'm only 20 minutes into this, but if by the time we're done, you feel like, it just really didn't deliver, then give me 1 star, right? Give me 1 star. On the other hand, if you feel like, wow, that was some really good training and man, I really got it for a bargain, then honor your commitment and give me what you think this is worth. 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you give me 1 star and constructive criticism. If you give me 1 star and say it doesn't work, and then I look at the attendance records and see that you never showed up, that's not part of the deal. Okay, but I do want to get some honest feedback, and there will be a place and a mechanism to do that. At the end of every session, I'm going to ask you to give me a little feedback, but then there'll also be a survey and a chance to offer up a testimonial. And again, it can be good, bad. I got thick skin. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say, Sherman, you really needed to improve this, and you need to improve this area, and here's why. That's always very helpful to me. Okay, so anyway, it was time to go ahead and update it. It was time to do something new, and I figured, why not just go ahead and do this thing 100% digital? No books, no tapes, no CDs. You're not getting it. So that's the first reason for doing an all-new version 2.0 of the 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. Second reason, and equally important, is I did the original 21 Days to Real Estate Riches when I was still pretty young in the business. And again, the content is still valid. However, there are some things I said and did that over the years I have come to regret them. So if you have this, original version of the 21 Days to Real Estate Riches course, I better stop doing that because it looks like it's tearing with this digital background of mine. But if you have the original version of the 21-day course, 2 things you probably notice if you've gone through it or if you've had it for a while. One thing that I tremendously regret having done is in the 21-day course, I say something to the effect of, on day 7, that if you haven't done the lessons from the previous days, stop. And it was never my intention to have people stop and walk away, but a lot of people did, simply because they didn't do the lesson. It was really more my intention to say, go back, do the lesson, and pick back up. Some people didn't. And I can't tell you the number of people I've met on the street over the years who say, Sherman, I got that 21-day course. And I'm like, well, how did you like it? Well, I never quite finished it. Why do you finish it? Well, you said on day 7. I'm like, you know what? If I ever redo it, I'm not going to say that again. So that's number 1. Number 2, again, youth and immaturity on my part. I give you guys a lot of reading assignments and a lot of books, and I suggest a lot of stuff in the original version of the 21-day course that's got nothing to do with making money. It's good stuff. It'll help you in the long run, but it ain't got jack diddly to making money and making money now. So I've cut all that stuff out. There is no recommended reading list. There's no go to Amazon and buy these books. There's no, none of that stuff. Because quite frankly, they got nothing to do with you making money. They could be helpful to you, and in the long run, they may be something great. But again, I found that people were going through the 21-day course, and instead of going through the material, they were out buying books and getting sidetracked. And I've tried to the best of my ability to put together a program that is not going to get you sidetracked. There's one thing in here that I know has the potential to take you off the rails, but I'm going to just have to keep on pressing on you to not get distracted. Specifically, so that you're not wondering about it, specifically, we're going to use Facebook pretty extensively throughout the next 21 days. Why? Because Facebook really is a good tool when you create a private group for having interactions and having almost instantaneous feedback that I can't quite do through REIU. So as an example, at the end of every day for the next 21 days, I am going to give you a homework assignment. I want you to upload your homework assignments into the Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. So we're going to have an extensive use of Facebook, but I also understand that Facebook is a two-edged sword, because sometimes when people log onto Facebook to get their lessons or watch the videos, they get sidetracked into other stuff that Facebook wants them to get sidetracked into. So please don't get sidetracked. So that's kind of the big major difference between the old 21-day course and the new 21-day course. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have on that. After I finish, I've got about 6 or 7 slides I'm going to walk you through, take me about roughly 20 minutes. And I expect to be done and have this whole thing wrapped up within an hour. But obviously I'll stick around to answer questions for as long as we need to go. So again, you guys can see my screen. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide. Really some important information. This was sent to you guys earlier, but I just want to sort of stress it and talk about it real quick. First of all, we're going to be together every day for the next 3 weeks. Like, I'm totally serious about this being a 21-day course where you spend an hour a day being mentored by me. And after today, and again, today is an introductory session, but after today, here's how I kind of expect it to flow. We will spend roughly 10 minutes doing a recap of the previous day's activity. Okay, 10 minutes, recap previous days. You come late, you come 10 minutes late, you'll miss it. You'll miss the recap, but that's how we'll start the sessions. Then we'll spend roughly about 15 minutes or so going over any homework. If I see that there's some really good examples and I want to highlight them, or if people want me to look at their homework in particular to give them some positive feedback, constructive feedback, or I might just randomly pull from the homework just to say, hey, this is, and again, you guys doing your homework is a great way to A, reinforce that I'm doing a decent job teaching, and B, it's a great way for me to see where you guys are stuck. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. This whole program is really about getting you unstuck. I am not so naive as to believe that everybody who's here, this is the first real estate course you've ever taken. Quite the opposite. I think most people have taken lots of real estate courses, have invested lots of money in quote unquote get rich in real estate programs, and they're highly, 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 highly frustrated, as I was, in that whatever they've invested in, whatever they've gone to, whatever they got is not working. And they're still struggling to get past that very first deal. This whole program is about getting you past that very first deal in the next 21 days. That's what this is all about. So we're going to be spending roughly an hour to, I would say, an hour and a half max every day for the next 3 weeks. Tonight's session should go relatively short. The next couple of sessions will be a little bit longer. These sessions are cumulative. If you miss session 1, you're going to have a hard time keeping up on session 2. You miss session 2 and session 1, it's going to be really difficult to keep up with session 3. You miss sessions 1, 2, and 3, you probably want to be calling Lisa and asking for a refund if you paid money. And you probably want to be calling Lisa, telling her you need to just go ahead and discontinue, because if you fall too far behind, you're going to be lost. Now, that's the bad news. Here's the good news. We are putting these sessions and the recording of these sessions in the Facebook group. So if you belong to the Facebook group and you miss session 1 for whatever reason, or session 2 or 3 or 4 or 20 or whatever, you can go ahead and set aside some time on your own to watch those recorded sessions in the Facebook group and get yourself caught up, okay? So we're gonna be together every day, roughly an hour, hour and a half, and I'm gonna do my best to keep it to an hour, but if you guys start asking me a bunch of questions, we'll go for an hour and a half. In any event, whether it's an hour, hour and a half, I'm cutting it off after 90 minutes. Wherever we are, we're stopping on that day. Why? Because you guys will have homework assignments each and every day. Some of those homework assignments are relatively short, 10, 15 minutes. Some of those homework assignments may take you an hour. I am highly sensitive to the fact that if I'm lecturing or teaching or coaching or mentoring for an hour and a half and you have an hour homework assignment that night, you're going to be very mad at me. So on those nights that I know you have a long homework assignment, I'm going to keep the mentoring, coaching, teaching, lecturing portion very, 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 very short, so that at the end of the day, you're not spending in totality more than 2 hours a day. And I got news for you. If you will not commit 2 hours a day, that's the time we spend together and then a half an hour more or less for your homework. If you won't spend 2 hours a day for 21 days to build a 6-figure real estate business, then you're not serious about the real estate business. And we might as well go ahead and have that conversation on the first day, not the last day, which is if you're not willing to spend 2 hours a day for your own success, you're not serious about your own success. And whatever happens to you, happens to you. I'm committed. I'm serious. Just so you guys know, every hour and a half lecture that I give, I probably spent 4 or 5 hours putting it together. I want you guys to know that. So for every hour and a half you spent with me, I already spent 4 or 5 hours pulling stuff, putting stuff in, taking stuff out, making sure that links work, making sure the information I give you is correct. So every day that we spend together for an hour and a half, I've already committed 5 to 6 hours for your success, not Sherman's success, your success. So there should not be any question in your mind as to whether or not I'm committed to seeing you win, seeing you successful, seeing you get out of your comfort zone and doing some things you haven't done before so you can start getting some deals done. But if you don't show up, if you don't do the homework, if you don't do your part, it doesn't matter how much time Sherman spent, it's not going to work. And I'd rather you know that sooner rather than later. Does everybody understand that? If you understand that, please go to the chat box and say, I understand. I'm not going to go any further until everybody who understands what I'm saying types in chat box, I understand. I want to see it. I want to see it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So we're going to spend 3 hours, 3 hours. We're going to spend 3 weeks together. And my strongest suggestion to you is do everything in your power to be at the live sessions. I know that's a sacrifice. I know that's a commitment. Trust me, it's a sacrifice and a commitment on my end. But if we work together every day for 21 days, you are going to be successful. There's no doubt in my mind that you won't be anything other than successful. But you got to reciprocate. You got to meet me when we're here, and you got to do the homework when we finish, okay? And post the homework. Don't just do the homework and forget to post it. Like, don't give me that, yeah, I did the homework, but I forgot to upload it to the Facebook group. No, do the homework and upload it to the Facebook group. And again, if you do find yourself missing a day or two or falling behind, go to the Facebook group and watch the recordings from the prior day. So a lot of people are asking, you know, will Sherman record this? And can I get the access to recordings? And I told Lisa, don't even let them sign up. Like, I want you here. I want you here live. This is when the lesson's being done. This is when the coaching, teaching is happening. But if for some reason you can't, that's how you make it up. Go to the Facebook group and watch the previous day recordings. All right. So here's some of the rules or some of the suggestions. Number one, we're going to be together every day for 3 weeks. Every week you're going to receive a handout. So the handout you got today is for this week. Next week, you'll get a handout for next week. And the third week together, you get a handout for the third week. Why am I not giving you everything up front? Because I don't want you to get lost and confused. I don't want you to get ahead. Anybody here still makes New Year's resolutions and wants to admit to it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So one of the big time New Year's resolutions for most people is I want to get in shape. I want to be in better shape. I want better health. You know, I want to lose some weight. Anybody here ever have one of those New Year's resolutions that says something to the effect of I want to be like? So let me ask you a question. I'll give you two choices. Option A, go to the gym for 30 hours and don't work out at all for the rest of the year. Option A, go to the gym, work out solid for 30 hours, don't do anything else. Option B, find some kind of a workout, including at the gym or just walking down the neighborhood or walking the dog, that you do every day for a half an hour for 2 months. Which of those two things do you think will produce results? A or B? At the end of the day, it's the same amount of time, isn't it? Isn't it the same amount of time? How many people think option A, just go to the gym for 30 hours and then you're done for the year? How many people think option B, commit to working out 30 minutes a day for 2 months is the better way to go? A or B? Type it in the chat box, please. Please type it in the chat box which you think is the better option. A or B? All right. B, 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 B. All right. And of course, one person, thank you, Maeve, said, I understand. All right. So here's the deal. Why is it that we know that going to the gym or working out for 30 minutes a day consistently for a month or two is better than trying to cram it all in a weekend? when it comes to health. And yet, when it comes to our real estate health, how many people, and I want you to be honest, including yours truly, how many people here have ever invested in a weekend boot camp or a 2-day training or an out-of-town training or an out-of-town guru training, right? And expected to come out of it knowing something. And of course, what was the end result? I've been there, so I kind of figure it kind of went like this. You heard the pitch, you heard the hype, you signed up, you bought airline tickets, you bought a hotel room, you went to the thing, you were so excited, you met some new faces, you ate some halfway decent food or not so halfway decent food, and you were thoroughly pumped up. And then on Monday morning, you went to work and somebody says, well, how was your weekend? You told them about this thing you went to, and they say, oh, what'd you learn? And you're like, real estate, wholesaling, quick cash. And then 2 weeks later, a cousin or somebody said, hey, didn't you go to that real estate thing down in Atlanta? How was that? It was pretty good. What'd you learn? I got to check my notes. And then 30 days later, the credit card statement comes and you see how much you spent and you say to yourself, I don't think I learned a blasted thing. And first you're mad at the person who signed you up, and then you're mad at the person you should be mad at, which is yourself, realizing you don't learn squat when you try to cram. You guys understand that? You don't learn anything when you try to cram it all in a weekend. It doesn't work. Right? Anybody here have a medical condition at all, anytime at all in your life and went to go see a doctor? And then the doctor you said to the doctor, hey, I see you went to Harvard or Howard or whatever. And like, no. I went to this weekend boot camp to learn the specialty to work on you today. Don't worry about it. I graduated number 1 in my class of boot camp attendees. It's going to be just fine. You see, I'm going with this, right? And the simple truth of the matter is, if you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your wealth, a far superior approach is to commit to a certain amount of time, half an hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes, every single day for at least 21 days. As opposed to doing a weekend boot camp. Why? Because if you commit every day, right, and that's a commitment. And what does the word commitment mean? It means you may have to cancel some stuff. You may have to say no to some stuff. You may have to move some things around in your schedule. But if you're willing to commit an hour or 2 a day, the same time of day to put in the work, it almost doesn't matter what the work is as long as you spend that time working at it. This 21-day program, and I'm going to give you what I call your first aha moment. I'm going to just give it to you on a silver platter. This program is designed to give you what you need every day for 21 days. And every single day have some kind of an assignment that when you look back on the 22nd, 23rd day, you go, oh my gosh, look how far I have come by just simply spending a half an hour a day doing my homework and an hour or so a day before the homework learning something from Sherman. One technique. That's what we're going to do together for the next 21 days. One thing, not a bazillion things, not a dozen things, not a half dozen things. Every single day, we're just going to do one thing. And if we actually do that one thing, we will be one step closer to our goal. That's what this is all about. So we're going to be together every day for 3 weeks. Every week you'll receive a handout. Why a handout as opposed to the whole thing? Because I don't want you getting ahead. I don't want you trying to do day 2 stuff on day 1. I don't want you trying to do day 7 stuff on day 3. I don't want you trying to do day 20 stuff. Like I know you guys are all hyped up and excited about the automation part, but I got news for you. If you don't know what you're doing, teaching you automation is more detrimental than it is valuable. If you don't understand how a specific process works, a specific step works, having you automate it isn't going to do anybody any good. There's a reason why pilots go through a checklist. There's a reason why airline mechanics go through a checklist. Nobody wants to find out at 30,000 feet that we forgot something. You guys with me on that? We want to make sure we got it down while we're still on the ground. We need to focus on the week 1 stuff first, and then the week 2 stuff second. And then by the time we get to the 3rd week, you will know how to do those other things. So the automation process becomes absolutely positively seamless. Let's not get ahead, okay? So please do me a favor, commit to being with me every day for the next 21 days live. Commit to doing your homework every day for the next 21 days on the day it's assigned. And if you do fall behind, don't allow yourself to fall behind by too many days, okay? I'm doing my very best to keep this simple, step-by-step, every single day, one thing, okay? So, you'll get the handouts when you need them. If I feel like I need to give you guys some supplemental stuff, I'll get it to you. I may give you guys some additional stuff through the homework assignments every night, but for the most part, you got what you need for the next couple of days in the handout I gave you. Some of you guys downloaded a handout, printed out, like, what? It's only 5 pages. Where's the rest of it? You'll get it when you need it and not before, okay? Next up, please make sure that you white label specifically the email support@Realinvestors and all emails coming from Realinvestors. I've already had a couple people call Lisa and call Ms. Barbara today at the office saying, hey, I didn't get the handout, I didn't get the material, I didn't get the information. And then when we actually looked in our our CRM, our customer relationship management program, what's called Infusionsoft, what we found out was that yes, they did get the emails, but they hadn't opened them, or they had been getting a series of emails and they only opened one, which basically says that it was all going into their spam folder. So all of these internet service providers, Yahoo, Gmail, if you're using them, they have their own rules. Go watch their quick little videos, go use their little help function and learn how to quote unquote white label to make sure that our emails are coming in. And I would also suggest that any emails you get from us, one way to make sure that they don't go in the spam folder or the junk folder is just go ahead and hit response. Even if your response is just simply, I got it, you know, just make that a note tonight before you go to bed, respond to 1 or 2 of our emails from Realinvestors. And that's another way to sort of quote unquote trick your email program into saying, hey, this is important, don't send it to spam, okay? Next, please join the private Facebook group. It's in Facebook, it's called 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. In fact, let me go ahead and show that. So let me stop sharing my screen here. Let me bring up Facebook here. And let me see if I can find 21 days. So let me show my screen again. Where did you go? So when you guys go into Facebook, you should be able to type in and you should see this, 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. Got it? And I see right now that 19 of you did follow your instructions for tonight. That's great. But we got way more than 19 people signed up for this class. That tells me that there's probably close to another 80 who didn't follow the assignment. It says 21 Days to Real Estate Riches and click on it. And since I'm already a member and I'm also the admin, I don't see exactly what you see, but you should see something like this. And something along these lines should say something to the effect of apply or join. Anybody here have not joined yet? Is there anybody here who's not joined yet? All right, do me a favor, go ahead and go into Facebook, bring up a Facebook tab on your computer and click on 21 Days to Real Estate Riches and tell me what you see when you, and you can type that into the chat box. Tell me what you see when you go to that group. Does it say join? It says click join. Thank you, Mike. All right, so it says click join. So please make sure that you go ahead and do that, and it's going to ask me to approve it, and I will make sure, if I don't do it right now, I'll make sure that it gets done sometime before I go to bed tonight so that everybody who wants to get in gets in, okay? So let me see. Okay, so it's one more person just got in, so we're up to 20 members now. So again, I just want to make sure that everybody who's going through this training is a part of this group, because again, after tonight, This is where I will be uploading video. This is where I will be uploading homework assignments. This is where I'll be getting you any additional handouts if it wasn't included in the weekly packet. So this becomes very, very, very important tool as we go through the training, okay? Everybody got that? Okay. All right, so let me stop showing that part of the screen. Let me go back to sharing this part of the screen. So please join the Facebook group. Please do not invite anyone else into our private group. I know folks got friends, family, and they want them to be a part of it. If you want them to be a part of it, they need to sign up for it so that they're getting the announcements from me. You don't want them getting partial information, okay? I don't have a problem with people joining, but they need to come through the front door, not the side door, okay? Please do not post anything other than assignments and questions. I know we're a very social group of people, and we like to share memes, and we like to share information about stuff going on in the world today. But I don't want you sharing information about stuff going on in the world today. That's what your private Facebook page is for. That's what your other Facebook groups are for. And as much as I love a good meme or a good motivational, that's not what this is for. This is about the 21-day program, and I want to keep it that way, okay? So please do not post, and also please do not be offended with me if I delete your post because I feel like it's not in line with what we are doing here, okay? There's lots of activity and lots of things going on in the world today, and there are lots of other Facebook places and Facebook groups and Facebook pages to post and talk about those things. And then finally, when you do come to the Facebook group, please do help each other out. That's what this is all about. This is about information sharing. This is about encouragement. If you see somebody struggling or has a question, and maybe they've got a question and I haven't quite gotten around to answer it, and you know the answer, go ahead and answer it. I'm not going to accuse you of sort of usurping my role as the teacher. In that place, you are a helpful student. And any tests we have are open book tests, so it's okay. But don't bring stuff into this classroom that I'm not teaching. We're not talking about raising money. We're not talking about rehabbing houses. We're not talking about FSBOs. We're not talking about creative financing. We're not talking about commercial. Don't bring that stuff into this classroom. All that's going to do is add to people's confusion. And we don't want more confusion. We want less confusion. In fact, as I was going through the 21-day course, the older version, I was cutting stuff out left and right going, it sounded good 20 years ago, but I think it's probably only confusing people today. So this is really about the streamlined process to do three things. Number one, understand how the real estate business really works and how to really make money in this business. Number two, understanding how to generate quick cash and get that first deal done in 21 days or less. And number three, understanding how to put it on autopilot, which, oh, by the way, wasn't in the first course. Putting it on autopilot wasn't in the first course. And there's actually a little bonus extra step that I'm also going to talk about on the 20th or 21st day, which is how to double your income. So I'm going to show you how to make a six-figure income, which in most people's minds is 100 grand a year. I'm going to show you how to instantly turn that to a $200,000 income without doing anything more other than letting people do a certain thing. So it's what I call the light of Oprah, as a little hint, hint, hint. So this really is a more streamlined version than the previous course, and I want to try to keep it that way. And I need your help to keep it that way by not allowing the Facebook group to get all bloated with stuff that has nothing to do with the 21-day course. Again, we're going to meet every day online, Zoom, Facebook at 7 p.m. I am going to live stream today. I'm live streaming to my personal page, and I'll then, when we're done, move that live stream, the recorded version, into our group. But starting tomorrow, I'm not going to live stream to my own page. I'm only going to live stream into our group. So please make sure you're part of that group. I do have one hiccup already. We're getting off on the first day, and I'm already apologizing to you. I do have a hiccup for this coming Wednesday, and only this coming Wednesday. I have a previous commitment. I need to start the meeting Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I hope that's okay with everybody. But I belong to a group, and I am the vice president of that group. And I promised to deliver something, and I need to show up for that meeting at least long enough to deliver what I promised. But I've already told those guys I got a hard stop at 7:59 so that I can join you guys at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, we will start at 8, and it is my intention to make it a relatively brief session. So we'll go from about 8 o'clock to potentially 8:45 at most, okay? So it's gonna be a short session on Wednesday, but we're gonna start an hour later, okay? But other than that, every single day, yes, including Sunday. You're like, what? Hey, sun's gone down, it's after the Sabbath, I can work. What I do plan to do is Sunday is really more of sort of like an open office hours. And if any of you guys have ever been to the Wednesday open office hours, it's really an opportunity for me to not have to do a lot of brain damage to get ready for the session and for you guys to catch up. So for whatever reason, if you fall behind, there's also a circuit breaker in there, and that Sunday, I will not be giving out homework assignments on Sunday. And so and I'll try to be very light on the homework assignments on Saturday. So if for whatever reason, again, you just sort of fall a little bit behind, when we get together on Sunday, it's really just me being there for an hour or two to answer people's questions and to help people to sort of get caught up on the previous week's work. And that's my plan for this Sunday, the following Sunday, and the following Sunday. So that's the game plan. Every day we're going to have a short homework assignment. Please, please, please do it. Don't blow it off. Don't put it off to tomorrow. Don't put it off till later, because later equals what? Type it in the chat box. If you know the answer, type it in the chat box. Later equals what? What does later equal? Put it in the chat box. Yes, never, never, never. Later equals never. Write that down. Anytime you say to yourself, I'm going to do it later, you got a 50-50 shot you're going to do it. Never. So my strong suggestion is literally as soon as we end the lesson, do the homework. None of these homework assignments is going to be terribly strenuous. And if you just go ahead and bang it out, get it out of the way, then it's done. As opposed to like falling behind one day, then another day, then another day, then before you know it, then you got 5 or 6 homework assignments, and then that's where it starts to feel like it's impossible. So every single day, just go ahead and just do the homework, get it out of the way. Really, really important. This one I probably should have highlighted, made it bold. The beauty of technology, I can do so now. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, heck. All right. Please put away. Put away. Don't throw away. It doesn't say throw away, but put away all other real estate investor course materials, all other real estate investor training, anything, even if it's from me. Like I know some of you guys got some real investor stuff, right? Just put it away for now. You don't need it. The whole purpose of doing this 21-day course and doing it in such a way to get your first deal done is to streamline the process and keep stuff on track. Bringing in extraneous material doesn't help us in that cause, so just put it away. And please do not participate in any other real estate investor groups. And I'm very serious about this. Don't participate in any other groups during our time together. How many weeks are we spending together, guys? How many weeks? 3. Are you telling me you can't stay away from some of these other groups you participate in? Like something like, Sherman, I don't participate. You know, stop telling tales. I know you guys are out there in them other Facebook groups and meetup groups and stuff. Just walk away for the next 3 weeks, okay? They'll still be there in 3 weeks, and if they're not still there in 3 weeks, you probably shouldn't be a part of it anyway. But give this the focus it deserves. Give this the commitment it deserves. Give this your all in it deserves, because when you do, it will reward you. Do this half-baked, halfway, you're gonna get half-baked results, okay? Go all in for the next 3 weeks. It'll go by faster than you know. And if you go all in for the next 3 weeks, when we get to the part about automation and having somebody else or something else do what needs to be done, you'll fully understand it and you'll fully be right there with me. But if you bug out to go join some other group or hang out with some other people and miss a significant portion of the training or don't do a significant portion of the training, when I get to the 3rd week and start talking about automation, you're gonna be sitting there, you know, scratching your head and your eyes rolling up in your head going, what's Sherman talking about? I don't want you to be there. I want you to be right there with us so that we can put this business on autopilot, so then you can go on and do something else. That'll give you your chance to come back to the other stuff, okay? You guys with me? If you're with me, please type in the chat box, Sherman, I am with you. I want you with me all the way. Got it? Put that in the chat box that you're with me. With me. Sherman, I am. Thank you. Okay, with you. Yeah, there you go. All right, moving right along. As I said, we're going to be 3 weeks together. Here's how the course is going to lay out. Week 1, which is what we're in right now, and you'll get your first homework assignment tonight, today. We're going to do it together. This is what I call Real Estate 101. One of the things that's different from the previous version of this course is these two things were actually switched. And what I found was a lot of people had a lot of confusion when I was talking about quick cash because they didn't understand the fundamentals. Week 1 is about the fundamentals. I'm going to talk about why it's easy to get rich in real estate. Okay, I'm going to talk about why real estate programs from folks like the A&E stars and the out-of-town gurus don't work, were never designed to work, will never work, and why you need to stop wasting your money and your time and your energy doing them. And I'll show you that and talk about that more tomorrow and the following night. I'm going to talk about what are the 13 surefire ways to make money in real estate. In other words, how can you, what are the 13 proven ways to make $100,000 a year or more in this business? Which, by the way, not to let the cat out of the bag, once you learn how to make 100 grand in this business, making 200 is easy. And I'll show you why that is when we get to the 3rd week. I mean, it's really super simple once you figured out how to make that first 100K. But most importantly, I want to explain to you why certain strategies should happen sooner or ahead of other strategies, okay? There are lots of different ways to make money in this business. There's not 101, there's like 13 foundational fundamental ways. But some of them just make more sense for somebody who's totally new to real estate and or totally new to business and or just getting started. While other strategies are more advanced strategies. And I want to have a thorough conversation this week about what each one of these 13 strategies is and when's the appropriate time to move into those 13 strategies. So I'm not just setting you up to win over the next 21 days. I'm setting you up to win over the next year. I'm setting you up to win over the next 12 months so that you know what should happen next. So many new investors are so confused about where do they start and then what do you do next and then what do you do after that. I don't want any of that confusion. And by the time we're done with this week, not 21 days, but just this week, that confusion will completely go away. Because as I explain it, you're going to sit there and go, oh, that makes sense. You're going to have a whole bunch of what I call aha moments, okay? And then as we get towards the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, we're going to actually go in motion. We're going to actually set up our 6-figure real estate business. And I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how to do what you need to do to start making money in this business. Week 2, next week, we actually get into what I call the quick cash generator, which is taking 2 of these 13 ways to make money and combining them together to actually start making money. And every day that you do your assignment next week, you are 1 step closer to actually making money. And then week 3, which seems like a long time from now, but it really isn't, we're going to talk about how do you automate everything that I taught you in week 1 and week 2, so you literally can put your business on autopilot. Now, what does autopilot mean? And by the way, I'm going to use a whole lot of aviation references because I've spent 20 plus years in the aviation business. Many of you guys know we run the private jet terminal at National Airport, which services the private jet. So I know, even though I'm not a licensed pilot, I know a fair amount of aviation. And the examples I'm going to give you are sort of the watered down, dumbed down, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade version. Anybody here ever flown ever in your life on an airplane? Anybody here? Anybody? Okay. So it probably wouldn't surprise you to know that airline pilots use something called autopilot. Y'all know that? They use something called autopilot. Anybody here know that name, right? Would it surprise you to know that they use autopilot like 90% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time that the plane is flying? Do you guys know that? Does that surprise anybody? Okay. What are the 2 times that they never, ever, ever use autopilot? If you know the answer to that, please put it in the chat box. If you know the answer to that, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Trinita. Yes, takeoff and landing. And by the way, you do not want your pilot using autopilot when it comes time to take off and land, right? Those are by far the 2 most critical times during your flight on an airplane. That's when, if anything could go wrong, it probably will go wrong. And so the pilots give 100% time and attention to those 2 parts. Well, in your own real estate business, you're not going to put everything on autopilot. You're not going to automate 100%, but you can automate 90%. And think of it this way: takeoff and landing is on you, but everything else in between can be placed on autopilot, can be automated. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that when we get to our third week together. And the reason why I want you to put it on autopilot is so that you can pivot to your next real estate strategy. For most people, not all, and we'll talk about individually what people should do next when we get there in week 3. But for most people, the pivoting should be to FSBOs or phase 2 marketing, and having a strategy for phase 1 and a strategy for phase 2. And again, we'll talk more about that as we get through the next week or 2. But I'm going to teach you how to put this stuff on autopilot so that you can go off and do the other things that you want to do. And this one little piece, by the way, everything that's in week 3 is not in the original 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. That was a major league oversight on my part. But hey, it was 20 years ago. I was young. Cut me some slack, right? But it is going to be in our training over the next 3 weeks. And that's why I say without hesitation that even though some of the content, and a lot of the content, excuse me, is still the same as was in the 21-day course, the delivery mechanism is different because it's all digital. There is a significant portion of what we're going to do together over the next 3 weeks that's all new. And maybe you heard me talk about it here or there, but you've probably never heard me talk about how to take the strategies that we're talking about and actually put them on autopilot, actually pivot into phase 2, and most importantly, how to double your income by just doing one thing that I call the light of Oprah. All right, so moving right along, that's what the next 3 weeks looks like. This first week kind of looks like this, Real Estate 101. So just a quick overview. We're going to talk about, why are we here? What's in it for you to go ahead and do this 21-day course the way I've described it, showing up every day. Who's Sherman and why am I qualified to help you, teach you, mentor you? What do we need from each other? We need to have that conversation before you all start jumping on the Facebook group. And then we're going to get into, why real estate? What is this power of real estate? Why do so many people use real estate as a tool to create wealth? We're going to talk about why the out-of-town gurus are lying to you. We're going to talk about what actually works and what doesn't. And most importantly, where to get started. This is, by the way, this is all this week. This is not over the next 3 weeks. This is just the game plan for this week. We're going to talk about going in motion, how to set ourselves up for success. We're going to talk about our first strategic hire. You've heard oftentimes it said that real estate's a team sport. Well, if it's a team sport, who do you need on your team first? And who do you need on team second? Who do you need on your team on third? And we're going to talk about, by the time we get to Saturday and before Sunday, how to fully build out your real estate team. This is our game plan for the first week together. I strongly suggest you don't miss a minute of it. Please be here for all of it because it's all going to be really good stuff. Next, real quick, meet your instructor. Many of you guys know who I am. This is just more of a recap than anything else. I'm the founder. You know that I am, of course, the founder of Real Investors. I'm also the creator of the 21 Days Real Estate Riches course. Some of you may or may not know that I'm a founding member of the Forbes Real Estate Council. Yes, that's Forbes magazine. Yes, they do have a real estate council. Yes, we do write articles and we do comment on various things related to real estate across the country. In 2012, Inc. magazine named me as America's Real Estate Mentor. In 2020, I was featured in Think Realty magazine on the cover, and did a cover story on Real Investors, the Real Investors Academy, and called me the Wealth Creator. Some of you guys do know I graduated from Taos University back in 1984 with a degree in mass communications. I then went on to the Wharton School of Business on a full fellowship. In other words, I didn't pay a dime to get there. I just had to get there. Trust me, I worked really, 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 really hard as an undergraduate, and that's why I was one of 13 people to receive one of these national fellowships. It was a national competition. And trust me, if I hadn't won that fellowship, I probably would not have gone to the Wharton School of Business because I didn't have 70 G's to go pay for an MBA, and that's what it cost back then. I went on to get my MBA from Wharton in real estate finance, by the way, in '86, and then I went on to get a second master's degree, although I did it on a part-time basis, so it took me a lot longer, but I got a master's degree and have a master's degree from the School of Architecture of the University of Virginia in urban and environmental planning, so I do know a thing or two about land and land development. And most importantly, my background, when I did graduate from Wharton, I immediately went into the real estate business. I worked for a company called XEROX, with a large tract of land out in Loudoun County, not too far from Leesburg, called Lansdowne. I don't know if I hear from Northern Virginia. Any Northern Virginia folks here? Yes, I was employee number 2 at Lansdowne and helped Lansdowne get built. And then I came downtown to work for the Oliver Carr Company. I did a number of projects, not so much in downtown DC, but my beat was Alexandria. So all that stuff near the King Street Metro was part of projects that I worked on or was responsible for. And then in 1993, I created my own company, Trade1's Realty Partners. And we've been doing real estate development. As I mentioned before, I got laid off twice in 1 year. And I made a decision when that happened that I would only have me sign my own paycheck. Then I never had to get worried about being laid off again. Best decision I ever made. I'm currently I'm the past chairman of the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce. So I know a lot of folks from Prince George's. Count the county executive as a very good and personal friend, as well as many other people who are elected officials in Prince George's. And I'm also the current chairman of the City of Bowie Economic Development Commission. Real short, I said before, member of the Forbes Real Estate Council. I'm a level 7 real investor. I am a CCIM, which is very difficult to earn. You have to do a certain amount of commercial real estate projects in a certain period of time. But as the folks would say, I'm the real deal. That's the only reason why I'm even showing that to you, because I am not making stuff up and selling it with pixie dust on how to get rich in real estate in 24 hours. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. That be okay? All right. So let me ask a question. Let's talk about what's in this for you. Can you imagine what it'd be like to have a mechanism that would allow you to wake up where you wanted, when you wanted, anywhere in the world, maybe your favorite spot like a Caribbean vacation place, and money was not the thing that caused you to make your decisions? And wouldn't it be nice to be like in a place that's 80 degrees with tropical breezes when it's like freezing and people got icicles hanging off their nose in DC? Would that be, anybody like that idea? You like that idea? Put in the chat box, I like that idea. Say, I like it. I love it. Well, I got news for you. That doesn't have to be a dream. That can in fact be a reality if you're willing to listen to me for the next 21 days. And I know some of you, for some of you, right? The situation that you might be in doesn't look anything like that. But trust me on this. Getting the right mentor is the first step. As my father said to me as a young man who was a freshman at Towson University some 30 plus years ago, the key to getting anywhere in life is getting someone who's been there to show you how. My dad's longer version went something like this. Son, you live in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth. And I know some of us are questioning that with some of the antics going on right now, but it's still true. And he went on to say to me, you can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. The key is figuring out what you want to do and getting somebody who's already been there to show you how. That's a very bold statement for a man who grew up on a dirt floor shack in a little town called South Point, Ohio, which even people in Ohio have no clue where it is. It's literally 10 minutes one direction from Huntington, West Virginia, and 10 minutes the other direction from Lexington, Kentucky. It is the southernmost point of Ohio. It is as rural gets. And my dad grew up in a place where there were 7 of them living in a house. He and his uncle shared one bedroom, and the 5 women in the house shared the other bedroom. And my grandfather, his father, who had never gotten past the 6th grade, wound up leaving the family, leaving his wife, leaving his kids to pursue becoming a West Virginia coal miner because that was the only job available. And he just literally picked up one day and left when my dad was about 8, 9 years old. And my grandmother, who went on to remarry a few years later, then picked up and left and came to DC with her new husband, his stepdad. And while he was there finishing up high school, his grandmother passed away, and he literally grew up in a dirt floor shack house with no running water, no electricity. And in his own words, every night went to bed with a shotgun, because the shotgun was how he ate and the shotgun was how he stayed alive. And one night, a couple of the neighborhood boys who he actually went to school with broke into his house thinking, hey, old Sherm's in there by himself. Let's see if we can mess him over. And he shot the earlobe off of one of them, and they never messed with them again. And my father went on to get an ROTC scholarship, which got him out of the hovel, and he played 3 sports. And he told me this much later in life. I knew he got an ROTC scholarship, and I knew he lettered in 3 sports because I saw his letterman's jacket. And in his own words, he said to me, the reason why he played 3 sports was so he could get a shower and a hot meal every day. If he wasn't playing athletics, if he wasn't playing college football, college track, college basketball, they weren't going to feed him, and they weren't going to give him access to the showers. That's the only reason why he did it. And he went on to ROTC because that's the only way he could pay for it. Let the Army pay for it. Today, he lives in a beautiful home in Silver Spring, Maryland. And there's no way he could have gotten from where he was to where he is if he hadn't had some really good mentors along the way, coaching, teaching, mentoring him into where he is today. I looked at my dad's life not fully understanding where he came from, going, I don't want a job, I don't want to go in the Army, I want to be my own man, I want to be my own boss, right? Not fully understanding that when I was looking at him, I was literally standing on his shoulders. And it wasn't until many years later, like he used to say, I used to walk 5 miles to school uphill both ways. I'm like, yeah, we're right, whatever. And then one day we had a family reunion. I think I was about 15, 16 years old, and we went back to where he grew up. And sure enough, school was here, the house was here, and there was a valley in between. It was 5 miles uphill both ways. But when I realized, oh my God, I'm like, this is a dirt shack. It's like falling down. This is a church and a 1-room schoolhouse. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you weren't kidding. I thought you were exaggerating all those years. But no. And the fact that he got to where he got to is, in his own words, as a Black man growing up in America in the 1940s, 1950s, and he got there because of the one thing I'm sharing with you. The key to getting anywhere in life is getting someone who's been there to show you how. Absolutely, positively true. And getting the right mentor is the first step. Right now, some of you guys are feeling stuck, and you need to get unstuck. Right now, some of you guys are suffering from the paralysis of analysis. You're overthinking this. Part of my job is to start taking stuff away and to help you get focused on the most important things, not everything, and get unstuck and get out of the paralysis of analysis. And some of you, quite frankly, and you know who I'm talking to, have woken up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat going, how come I can't get my first deal done? I've spent all this money on the boot camps. I spent all this money on the training. I'm not stupid. I'm not lazy. Why can't I get past my first deal? Or maybe I'm just talking to myself because that's how I felt after years and years and years of going through all this training. Well, you're not stupid. You're not lazy. You're just lost. And you need some help. Help is here. The cavalry is here. And I'm going to explain to you over the next couple of days why all of these get rich quick and real estate training programs, so-called training programs, are nothing but a ruse and a technique to tap into the fact that you want to get somewhere in real estate. And these really unscrupulous gurus know that if they give you a weekend training, a weekend boot camp, that by the time you realize that you didn't learn nothing, the money that was in your bank account is already in their bank account. They're setting you up. And we're going to talk about what's the correct way, the right way, the real way to learn anything and apply it to this technique of real estate and real estate investing. So no, you don't have to wonder how you're going to get there, because you got a mentor and a coach who's going to show you how to get there. Many of you guys who know me, follow me on Facebook, know that I routinely, when we're not in a COVID, coronavirus, whatever shutdown, I routinely take my family on 2 and 3 21-day or more vacations every year. Because I learned the secret of how to make real estate work for me. And that secret is what I want to share with you over the next 21 days. My number one goal over the next 21 days is to get you to the promised land safely and intelligently by teaching you how this business really works, so you can not only make money and then start making money on autopilot, but you have a skill that you can pass along to your children's children. Said another way, my job is to get you out of your comfort zone and into where the magic really happens, but do it in such a way that you know what we're doing together. There's no guesswork. There's no, gee, how does that work? There's no, gee, you know, I went from point A to point B, but I'm still not sure how I got there. No, none of that. And the simple fact of the matter is, I needed to take that 21-day course and just break it down step by step and eliminate anything and everything that didn't get you into your first deal, and get you there in such a way that you fully understand why it should be your first deal, how you got your first deal, and how to replicate it over and over and over again, and then put that baby on autopilot so that somebody else is doing 90% of the work, but you're keeping 90% of the profits. Anybody here like that idea, doing 10% of the work and keeping 90% of the profits? Yeah? You like that? Put that in the chat box. Just tell me I like it. Yes, 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 yes. That's what we're here together for, okay? And as I said, that's my job. I recently attended a class. It was a class for teachers. It was a class for teachers to learn something new to teach. And there's some new stuff I want to teach you guys, not over the next 21 days, but when this 21 days is over, I got some new classes I want to talk to you about. And the teacher of that class, who was very tough, oh my God, was he tough, sent each and every one of us in the class a group email, and then he sent me a separate email. I don't have it in front of me, but maybe before the class is over, I'll read it to you. But essentially what he said was, Sherman, you have a very special gift for teaching. I really enjoyed having you as a student in my class, and I look forward to working together with you one day in the classroom together. I immediately wrote him back and said, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. It means the world to me coming from you, because he was tough. We were in the class together for 3 days. He was tough. But I also read that email. Well, my wife's like, what are you laughing about? I said, I just got this email from Ben. And she said, well, what did he say? And I read it to her. And she said, well, he's right. You have a gift for teaching. Not everybody can do what you do. And I guess maybe I'm finally coming to the revelation and realization that this is a gift from God and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It took me long enough, right? But my job, the reason I'm here, is to guide you, help you, take you by the hand, and step by step get you to the promised land, which for this class means getting your first deal done. And getting it done in such a way that you can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, and then put that thing on autopilot so that you're doing 10% of the work and keeping 90% of the profits. That's why we are here together. That's why I'm here. And I know for a fact that this works. The 21-day course in its original version is almost 20 years old. And there are close to 1,000 real estate investors in the DC area who got their start using that old version of the 21-day course. And I take nothing away from that old version. You know what? I'd rather have the old version of the 21-day course and the CDs and the DVDs versus some of the other junk and crap, if I can say it that way, that other people are peddling as get rich quick in real estate, because it still makes sense. I just think that this new version that we're a part of today, that we're doing right here, right now, is going to completely eliminate any of the guesswork as to how this business works and how you make this business work for you. But we got a proven track record here. And that's what we're doing over the next 21 days. And I better speed it up if we're going to get this thing done in an hour and a half. So an overview of what we're agreeing to do together. Okay, this is what we're agreeing to do together. Over the next 21 days, we will invest time, like I said, about an hour a day, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter, to work together to get you unstuck into your first deal and then put that whole thing on autopilot. Goals, number one, understanding how money is really made in real estate. Number two, getting the first deal done in the next 21 days. And number three, putting it on autopilot. Those are the three goals. Those are the three course goals, okay? We're going to talk about building a six-figure real estate business. At the end of the 21 days, you're going to know exactly what you need to do to build your six-figure real estate business. That's not to say you're going to have a six-figure real estate business at the end of 21 days, but you'll know what you need to do. And generally speaking, when I talk about six figures or six-figure business, I'm talking about making $100,000 a year minimum over the next 12 months. So by the time this 21 days is over, you know exactly what you need to do to build a six-figure $100,000 a year business in the next 12 months. That's what I'm saying. We're going to use a proven 9-step process. Week one, and I already showed you the process. Week one, right? I showed you the process, right? Looks like that, right? Week one has 3 steps. Week two has 3 steps. Week three has 3 steps. Put it all together, you got 9-step process. Even in its current format, the current 21-day course really does touch on the 9-step process. Although, as I said before, that last week is not really in there. So that's part of what's different. But even without that, folks have had great success with the 21-day course. So a proven 9-step process that the first week is about foundation. The second week is what my mentor calls floodgates, meaning how to turn the money spigot on. And then the third week is about automation, how to automate 90% of the process so you can go on and do something else. We call these 3 steps Real Estate 101, week 1, Quick Cash Generator, week 2, and then Autopilot Real Estate Riches is week 3. All together, those 3 weeks combined is the new 21 Days of Real Estate Riches. What you should expect from me, I am bringing my knowledge as to how this business really works. I am bringing an attitude of we are playing to win, and I expect you to win, and I will treat you with respect. And if anytime you feel like I'm not treating you with respect, tell me so. You can private message me through the Zoom. You can send me an email or send me a private message through the Facebook. But it is my intention to treat you like the adults that you are and help you to understand that even when I'm quote unquote breaking stuff down, I'm not trying to belittle anyone and I'm not acting as though you're not smart. I know you're smart. Many of you guys are way smarter than I am. But when it comes to real estate, chances are I probably know a thing or two more than you may know. And my job is to take some of what I know and impart it in such a way and teach it in such a way and coach and mentor in such a way that part of what I know becomes a part of what you know, and you can apply it, what's called applied knowledge. You can apply that knowledge directly to actually making some money. And I plan, as I said before, from the outset, I'm bringing the attitude of we're here to win, okay? And I'm bringing my skills. I'm bringing my skills, helping you guys to work stuff through. Look, I know I said Sunday sort of a free day. It's a free day for me, but it's not a free. That some of the best training, as far as I'm concerned, is probably going to happen on Sundays when you guys just come with questions and I have no prepared notes. Because over the past 20 years, that's typically what's happened. When I sit down with people and they just start asking me questions, sometimes that's where the best education takes place. And I'm looking forward to these Sunday sessions together. All right. Now, what I'm expecting from you, and I have expectations of you. I got big time expectations of you. I don't expect you to work harder than I do. You're not. I don't expect you to be more prepared than I am. You won't be. I'm not expecting you to have a better attitude than I have. You may get a little frustrated and say some things you don't mean to say or print some stuff you don't mean to say. But there's one thing I expect you to bring to this class over the next 21 days. One thing. And the one thing I expect you to bring is commitment. If you are not committed to your own success, you are wasting your time and mine. I will not tolerate having my time wasted. I'm too dang old. Okay? In my younger days, I would have gone along with that. I don't go along with that no more. How do you demonstrate that you are committed? 3 ways. You show up. And most importantly, as far as I'm concerned, you show up when we're live. Because when we're live is the opportunity that you have to pull me aside, to tug on my jacket, like, Sherman, I don't understand something, please explain it. You can't do that with a recording. Yeah, maybe you can catch up with me a few days later, maybe you can catch up with me a week later. But here's the deal. In that instant, in that moment, when it's not perfectly clear and you're a little bit confused, wouldn't that be the ideal time to ask me to kind of go through it again, break it down, explain it? Don't be shy about that, okay? And the best way to do that is show up for the live session so you can catch me live. Got it? All right, second way you demonstrate that you're committed, turn in the darn homework. You're gonna have homework assignments, turn it in. Don't let days go by, weeks go by, the entire program go by, and you haven't done the purpose of the homework is to get you to do it. And as my mentor, Jim Rouse, said to me many years ago, you learn this real estate business by doing it. There is no substitute for actually doing. I'm not giving you busy work. One of the lessons, one of the things we're going to do is set your company up, set up your LLC. We're going to do that together. That's not busy work. That's vitally important if you're going to make money in this business. One of the lessons, we're going to go through the contract together. And then I'm going to say to you, okay, now that we've gone through it together, you need to be prepared to write up a contract, or at least this part of a contract. And I'm going to give you a homework assignment to demonstrate that you got it. Do the homework. And I mean, I could pull from a number of different, but every single night, don't look at the homework as something that's optional. It's not. The quickest way I can tell that you're not serious about this and you're not serious about yourself is for you to consistently fail to do the homework. Every night, you have a homework assignment. Some will be short, some will be long. Upload the homework into the Facebook page, because in the morning when you're sleeping or you're off at work, I'll be going through those lessons, looking at them, seeing how serious you were, and commenting and critiquing. Some of it will be done in a group fashion so that everybody gets the benefit of it. Some of it will be done privately, okay? But don't fall behind. If you know you're going to fall behind for whatever reason, drop out now. If you paid for this and you know you're going to fall behind, drop out now and get a refund. The only way you can clearly demonstrate to me that you are committed is to be totally all in as we go through this together in the next week. And if you can't, for whatever reason, be all in, drop out now. Because I don't want you wasting your time. And I will not tolerate you wasting mine. Okay? I'd rather part friends. Okay? All right. What we need from each other. Oh, last thing. What I need from you. Trust me. Just trust me to lead. If I ask you to do something, if I ask you to comment on something, if I ask you to participate in something, just trust me enough to just do it. I'm not here to make anybody look foolish. I'm not here to embarrass anybody. That's not my nature. That's not what I do. But if we're going to grow, if you're going to grow, I'm going to need you to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And part of my job, as I said earlier, is to get you out of that comfort zone so that you do grow. When I was teaching my son how to ride a bicycle, there came a time when I needed to take my hand off of him. There came a time when we needed to take the training wheels off. But up until that time, I was guiding him every step of the way. I'm not going to let you fail. I'm not going to let you fall. I'm not going to let you get a boo-boo on your knee. Promise. Okay? All right. What we need from each other. We're going to be interacting with each other in the Facebook group. I expect that. Be helpful. Be respectful. And most importantly, be as committed to other people's success as you are to your own. If you see that somebody's struggling, if you see that somebody's it's not quite clicking for them, and you can be of help to them, don't be shy about it. Don't hide in the wings about it. Help them. Real Investors is a family. We're that second family. We may be the family you never really had that you always wanted. And like family, we don't always get along. We don't always see eye to eye. That's why I wanted you guys to keep the politics and some of the stuff out of here. But we're still family. And if you see a family member struggling harder than they should be, help them out a little bit, okay? And then finally, Newton's law. An object, and we'll talk more about this week. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object in motion tends to stay at motion. In other words, if you are used to doing things a certain way, I'm probably going to make you a little uncomfortable. But as Newton said, an object at rest tends to stay at rest unless it's acted upon by another object, at which point in time that object goes in motion, and an object tends to stay in motion unless it's acted upon by another opposing force. Our job together for the next 21 days is to go in motion and stay in motion. That's what this is all about. All right. So real quick, I'm done with my lecture part. Let's go ahead and get to the homework. 21 days to real estate riches, day number one actions. Number one, we want to join the Facebook group. And I've already demonstrated how to get to the Facebook group. Does anybody need for me to demonstrate again how to get to the Facebook group? If you do, please type in the chat box, show me again. Does anybody else need that? Going once, going twice? Okay, I don't see anybody saying that. So again, I will be recording into the chat. Okay, somebody did say show me again. All right, so I'm assuming because you're here, you are on the internet, okay? I think that's a safe assumption. I'm assuming because you are here, you have some computer skills, and if you don't have computer skills, hopefully there's somebody in your house who has computer skills. You want to go to, from your browser, you want to go to Facebook, and you want to look for 21 Days to Real Estate Riches. Everybody see my screen right now? You want to look for 21 Days to Real Estate Riches, and it says it's a private group, which means the only way you get in is if you actually go looking for it. In Facebook, you type in 21 Days to Real Estate Riches, okay? And when you click on it, it will take you to the group. When you get to the group, you'll see something that looks like this, and it'll say something about click to join. When you hit click to join, that's all you need to do. And then when I go back through later on, I will admit people into the group once I double check and make sure that they are part of this class, okay? I'm going to do my darndest to keep the trolls out. The trolls are running crazy right now. Y'all know that. So I'm doing everything in my power to keep the trolls out, okay? So that's how you join the Facebook group. Got it? We good? All right, so let me stop sharing screen, go back to my slides, and then begin to wrap this thing up. So actions, join the Facebook group. Next, you have what's called a daily task sheet. Does everybody have something called a daily task sheet in your packet? Looks like this, okay? Now, I know for a fact that many of you guys have some really, really fancy calendar and organizing tools. This is one of those instances where I need for you to just let me lead. Humor the old man, as I would say to my 20-year-old son. Just humor me. All right, what I would like for you to do is print out 21 copies of that sheet. 21 copies. I would like for you to 3-hole punch them if you can. Even better is if you have 3-hole punch paper. I want you to leave the back side blank. Leave it blank. Do not double side print. There's a reason for leaving the back side blank. And I would like for you to take those 21 sheets that you print out and put them into like a 1-inch binder. You can staple them if you want to, but it's going to get messy as time goes on. I want you to put them in a 1-inch binder, and I want you to carry that binder with you or have it available to you every day for the next 21 days, okay? On every day of that binder, and you may want to do this before you print it out, or you may want to write it in by hand, I don't really care. At 7 o'clock, at 7 p.m., I want you to write in 21 days live class. Except for when? This Wednesday. That's right. This Wednesday we start at 8. But other than that, every day it's 7 o'clock. I want you to write underneath it, like around 9 o'clock, 21 days homework. Got it? So what will you be doing for the next 21 days? Coming to class at 7, except for Wednesday, which is 8, and doing your homework. Everything else, fill it out as you see fit. But that little 2-hour block of time from 7 to 9, it's mine. And I'm jealous you're not sharing it with anybody else. It's mine for the next 21 days. Got it? Now, again, I know you guys have electronic doodads. Just trust me. There is something about handwriting the night before what you're going to do the following day that is empowering. I actually wrote a course, it's called The Magic of Getting Things Done, which, oh, by the way, surprise, surprise, I'm going to give to you. If anybody ever says, gee, I don't have enough time in the day, gee, I don't have enough hours in the day, gee, I wish I could do your thing, Sherman, but I don't have the time. It's not that you don't have the time, it's that you are wasting your time on other things that are not going to produce the same level of result. And we need to fix that. So I put together a program a number of years ago based on the number of times people came up to me and say, Sherman, how do you do such a great job doing time management? And I said, I don't, because nobody manages time. What I do better than most, not better than all, but better than most, is manage how I manage myself with the time I got. And the program's called The Magic of Getting Things Done. I'm going to give it to you. Guess when I'm going to give it to you? Guess when I'm going to give it to you? Anybody want to take a guess? Type it in the chat box. When do you think I'm going to give that to you? Yes, after this 21-day program is over. Because I don't want it to become an excuse or a diversion or an interruption or anything that could possibly get in the way. I don't want it to confuse you. But I'm going to give it to you. For this next 21 days, I'm pulling a piece out of that course and I'm giving it to you and say, please use this tool for time management, or truthfully managing yourself with the time you got for the next 21 days. And that is what's called the daily task sheet. I call it the daily task sheet in the Magic Getting Things program. Just print it out, do what I ask you to do, which is block out 21 days live class at 7 o'clock every day for the next 3 weeks, block out 21 days homework for the next 3 weeks, and use this. Now, here's how you use it. You print up a sheet for every day. You put it in a binder. I don't care whether you print up a whole week's worth, 2 weeks worth, 3 weeks worth, a month worth. It doesn't really matter. In a 1-inch binder, you can get a month plus into that binder. I want you to put your favorite pen or pencil in that binder. Get one of those ones with pockets in it. And I want you to carry it with you every single day, even if you're not leaving the house. Do this, just humor me. When you sit down the night before and map out what's going to happen in your day tomorrow, mentally, you've already conquered the day. I know some people don't like time management programs or calendar programs, and don't worry about it. This is not a time management program. This is not a calendar program. I just simply want you to get in the habit over the next 21 days of using a technique I teach in the Getting Things Done class called time blocking. Time blocking. Somebody type in the chat box, what happens if you do something every day over 21 days? What happens?
It becomes a habit.
There you go. Except you don't get any points because I said type it in the chat box and you unmuted yourself.
Sorry.
That's okay. But you're absolutely correct. It becomes a habit. Now, what do you think will happen at the end of 21 days if you have gotten in the habit of blocking out 2 hours a day to work on your real estate business? What do you think is going to happen on the 22nd day? Anybody want to guess? And yes, it's okay to unmute yourself tonight. What's going to happen?
You're going to continue to work on your real estate.
Keep working on your business.
You're going to keep on, like at 7 o'clock is going to roll around on the 22nd day. Like, oh my God, I don't have to hang out with Sherman. But you know what? I'm so used to working on my business and from 7 to 9, you're going to work on your business. This is one of the most powerful concepts that I have ever learned and I learned it just before I went off to college, went off to Wharton. In fact, I learned it at undergraduate, and it's what allowed me, quite frankly, one of the things that allowed me to get that full fellowship, because I could get so much more done than all of my fellow students because I was totally focused and I employed this technique of time blocking. Time blocking is a powerful concept. What is time blocking? Literally blocking out a period of time, either every day or certain days of the week, to do certain things. If you do it long enough, mentally your mind says, oh, it's Tuesday and it's 2 o'clock. I'm supposed to be working on XYZ today. And it also prevents you from all the distractions that tend to happen. See, now I'm in trouble because I'm no longer teaching the 21-day course. I'm now teaching what's in the Getting Things Done course. I need to smack myself and stop it and say, just trust me on this. Get out the daily sheet, block out from 7 to 9 for the class that we're going through now for the next 21 days. Fill out the rest of the sheet as appropriate. I strongly suggest you do it the night before, or if you're one of those people that wants to know what your whole week looks like, do it Sunday night for the coming week. But get in the habit of blocking out time and filling this out, and then sticking to the script. It doesn't do you any good to write it down and then not follow it. Like if every day you get up and you say your prayers, you drink a cup of coffee, you work out, put it on there. If there's certain things that you do on your job that you get into a regular routine, put it on there. Get in the habit of doing the time blocking. Now, chances are you don't have a regular place where you talk about phone calls to make. I got news for you. If you're going to be successful in this real estate business, there's going to be some phone calls you need to make every day. Not a lot of them, but there's going to be 2 or 3 critical phone calls you're probably going to need to make to your fellow team members to talk about certain. You need to have a place in the daily sheet, the daily task, where you talk about the phone calls you got to make tomorrow. You may need to do some planning. You may need to do some delegation. You may need to do some automation. Get in the habit now, starting tonight, of thinking through what needs to happen tomorrow. And is there anybody you need to call? Is there anybody you need to delegate a task to? And writing it down, in a central place, in a central book that you create. Now, what's up with the blank side on the back? That's a place to take notes. If you said, hey, I need to call the contractor on this, I need to call my partner on this, I need to call the state about this, on the back side of that daily task sheet, you take your notes. Well, the contractor said he'd get out there at such and such a time, do such and such thing on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. So what happens on Friday when the contractor calls and says, what am I supposed to be doing? You flip back to your prior day's notes and you say, oh yeah, we had that conversation on Monday and this is what we talked about. It's all right there. You don't have to use up brain capacity trying to remember stupid nebulous stuff. Like, yeah, it's in the big scheme of the world, it's nothing. Like, of all the things going on in the world today, like the fact that you're supposed to have the contract. Now, if the contractor shows up and doesn't remember what they're supposed to do, or the contractor shows up and does what he thinks he was supposed to do, but misses some stuff, you sure enough are going to want a place that you wrote it down so it's not up here in your brain taking up space. Get in the habit over the next 21 days of documenting what needs to be done, documenting what was done, documenting and writing down conversations that you had and things that happened on the day it happened, so that you can refer back to it and go, yes, I know exactly when it happened because in my notes, I see that I wrote it down on Thursday, the 15th, and this is what we talked about, and this is when we talked about it. Got it? That's why we leave the back side blank to take notes, free form. If you're not a free form kind of person, you can get yourself a ruler and start drawing some lines and line your paper, right? But otherwise, just leave it blank so you can take notes. That's why we leave it blank. And then last thing I want to point out, at the very, very top in the upper left corner, you see what it says? Today's #1 goal. I will not go to sleep tonight until I have what? Whatever it is that you have established for the day, like maybe it's a carryover from the previous day. Maybe there were some things you need to get done, like your homework assignment, and you didn't get it done. You're like, I'm not going to bed tonight until I do this thing. I got to check it off my list. Don't make it a laundry list of things, just the one thing that's got to get done before you call it a night. Write it down, put it in there. The daily task sheet. Get in the habit, starting tonight, of using it. So, your homework assignment for tonight, 2 things. 3 things, really. Number 1, join the Facebook group. If you haven't applied, apply. I'll let everybody in. Number 2, print out the daily task sheet for tomorrow. Fill it out. Send it in. How do you send it in? Take your iPhone, right? That's why they gave it to, that's why God made the iPhone. Actually, Steve Jobs made the iPhone. Take your iPhone. Snap a picture of the daily task. Upload it to the Facebook group. We have approximately, what? How many people we got? 70 people now. So some of y'all just snuck in here late. Y'all was sneaking in here when I wasn't paying attention. We got 68 people. I expect to see 68 daily task sheets. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, if the only thing you have on there is live class tomorrow and homework, and you're not going to go to bed until you do your homework assignment, I'm cool with that. I'm not getting into all your personal business. I don't need to, but I need to know that you're taking this class seriously. How do I know you're taking this class seriously? You do your homework. This homework assignment of doing a daily task sheet won't take you more than 2 minutes. Won't take you more than another minute. 3 minutes tops to fill it out and send it in. But you know what it tells me if you didn't take the 3 minutes to send it in? It tells me you're not serious. And throughout the class, we're going to have some bonuses. We're going to have some smaller trips. We're going to have some things. And I want to work with the people who are serious. If you want to demonstrate to me that you're serious, do your homework. And then the last, we're going to have a case study. Every night when I finish, I'm going to upload your homework assignment. I'm going to upload a case study, a video to watch of somebody who was successful with the 21-day program. And as you watch it at your leisure, I want you to have your aha sheet. Does everybody have their aha sheets? It should have been included in the packet. I want you to have your aha sheet. Now you can bring your aha sheet to class. You can have your aha sheet, throughout the day. But I really want you to have your aha sheet handy as you watch the video, because if the person who we're profiling says something that really strikes you as like, yeah, that makes sense, I want you to write it down. And I want you to write it down. What I want you to do is watch the case studies. And if something really strikes you, either fill out the aha sheet or type it into the appropriate place in the Facebook group and say, hey, the one thing I really took away from listening to that person was this. What was it about the way that they applied the 21-day course? Or what was it that they learned while going through the 21-day course? Or what was it that they did while going through the 20 that really made the difference? And when they said it, it was like a light bulb going on. Boom! I was like, that makes sense. Got it? So normally I will upload that video into the Facebook group, but because not everybody's in the Facebook group for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and just share with you and show you the video for today. So today, day 1 case study is how Alexandria native Howard Johnson got his first deal done in just under 21 days. And as Howard says, you're just 21 days away from your dreams. And if you're not familiar with Howard's story, Howard came to us at the end of 2011, and he confronted me the very first time he walked in the door. He said, Sherman, I don't believe anybody who teaches people how to get rich in real estate is capable of telling the truth, which is a pretty big and bold statement to say when he's standing inside of my 5,000 square foot property. He's standing in my building making a statement. And I said, well, I understand that, but why are you here? And he said, because I just spent, and he told me 30,000, but he later on told me it was really more like 60. He's like, I just spent $30,000 with these out-of-town gurus, spent 3 years with them. I got nothing to show for it, and I'm desperate. And the last thing that out-of-town guru said to me was, okay, we've done everything we can do for you. Go find your local expert. And everybody knows in the DC area that the local expert is Sherman Ragland. That's why I'm here. And I said the exact same thing to Howard in December of 2011 that I'm saying to you right now, which is fine. If you really want me to teach you how to get your first deal done, if you really want me to teach you how to make money in this business and get past that mental hurdle and feeling of failure because you can't get past the first deal, then I want you to do 3 things. He said, what's that? I said, number 1, listen to me and only me. He said, I can do that. I said, number 2, whatever course material that you bought, whatever course material you that you have, put it aside. He said, throw it away. I'm already throwing it away. I said, no, don't throw it away. There may be something salvageable, but put it aside, put it away. Forget you ever heard from anybody about real estate investing, and just follow me. He said, yes, I'm willing to do that. And I said, for 21 days, not forever, just the next 21 days. He said, what's the third thing? I said, the third thing is sign up for membership and let me give you a copy of the 21 Days to Real Estate Riches, because we used to give it away for free when you became a member. Now we sell it because it's so valuable. So I gave him a copy of the 21 Days to Real Estate Riches program, the original version, not the new one you got in your hands. And I said, just do what it says to do over the next 21 days, which he did. He later on signed up for private coaching and private mentoring with me, but that was later. And Howard got his first deal done in about 15 days once he got serious. Like many of us, he got through the holidays, he got through this and that, and then he got really, really serious at the end of January of 2012. Got his first deal done during the first 2 weeks of February 2012. This is Howard holding his first check, $5,100. $5,100 is not going to set the world on fire, people, but you know what it did do? It helped him shake the feeling of being a failure, because he had spent 4 or 5 years of his life spending $30,000+ having gotten nothing to show for it and gotten more confused about how this business really works. Getting the first deal for Howard, like for many of us, was everything. It broke open the floodgates. The floodgates. So after getting the first deal done, he went on to get 14 more done. After getting the 14 done, he went on to get another 14 done. Somewhere around his 24th deal, he did one deal that he made $87,000 on. $87,112 on one deal. By the way, you're never going to get to 87,000 until you get past the first. You guys do understand. There's no reason to think about the 101 real estate deals you're going to do, the 40 real estate deals you're going to do, the commercial property. Like, there's no reason to think about any of that stuff until you get the first deal done. And if the first deal is the gorilla that has been wrestling you to the ground, then let's focus on that. It's not that hard when you have the right plan and the right mentor. So he then went on to become what we call Mr. Incredible, because just the way he gets deals done today. And a couple years ago, he wound up buying a 10,000 square foot mansion in the gated community of Woodmore, which is where the Arnold Palmer Golf Course is, the most exclusive community in Prince George's County. And he bought it for $275,000 in a creatively financed deal, short sale. And it was his intention to buy it, put a couple $100,000 into it and flip it, but a little something happened along the way. He fell in love. Or to be more accurate, his wife fell in love. And so now this is the house they live in. This is the part of the family legacy. That house today is worth $1.8 million. As Howard said in his own words, before coming to Sherman and Real Investors, I'd spent thousands of dollars with those out-of-town gurus, had nothing to show for it but a deep hole in my bank account. And I say the exact same things I'm saying to you that I said to Howard. Until you get past your first deal, nothing else matters. So put all that stuff you got aside, all that creative financing and foreclosure investing and creative deal making, put it aside and focus on getting your first deal done. So the case study I have for you tonight is a video. It's not short. This is the longest one I'm going to show you. I kind of expected to be done sooner than this, but I'm still getting it done before 9 o'clock. I think the video is about 10 minutes, so bear with me. And again, because not everybody's in the Facebook group yet, I'm just going to show it off my computer, whereas normally I would wind up showing this. I would just post it up in the Facebook group. But your first case study tonight is Howard Johnson talking about his first deal. This is not the mansion. This is not the 87. This is him talking after he had gotten his very first deal done, about getting his very first deal done. And I want to share this video with you. This is your case study for tonight. This is Howard in his own words, unscripted. By the way, when we shoot these videos, I don't go anywhere near folks because I don't want anybody accusing me of quote unquote telling them what to say. We send somebody out with a camera and a couple of questions and we just let them tell their story. This is Howard telling his story about how he used the 21-day course to get his first deal done. It's a little bit long, but what I would like for you to do is watch it, have a pencil and paper ready or your AHA sheet ready. And if there's one thing that just sort of stands out from what he says, please write it down and then submit it into the Facebook group as your homework assignment for tonight. So those are your 3 homework assignments for tonight. Get on the Facebook group, fill out the daily task sheet for tomorrow. I don't need to see the whole 21 days. Just show me what your plans are for tomorrow. Show me that, more importantly, that you actually filled out the task sheet, and watch this video I'm about to share with you and tell me what your one aha or big revelation or gee, that really resonates with me. Tell me what that is, and also upload that into the Facebook group. So this is Howard Johnson in his own words.
I found out about real investors just surfing the web, looking for a guru to teach me the game, the real estate game. And I came across a ton of people. Kept coming across Sherman. Noticed Sherman was Real Investors was a local business. Bowie. I live right in Alexandria, so about 30 minutes from me. So I gave it a shot, and actually I gave it a shot a couple years ago. I only shared this story with Sherman one time. I came to his tutorial at another location in Bowie he had, but didn't get the feel, didn't get the itch. And I went on to several other gurus, got burnt several other times. And in a circle, ended, ironically, be it God's will, ended up right back at Sherman, Real Investors, at the location that they're in now, 4 years later. So always chased the dream of having self-independence, being able to spend time with my family. Needed the money to do it. So the only thing I knew, the package I could put together would be real estate. Searched for gurus, search. Started with Sherman, ended back up in Sherman. Learned everything that I know today, know now. I learned it from Real Investors. So it was, I don't know, it was a blessing in disguise. You know, what does it say? You try to rest, now you try to best. There you go. What do I do day to day to make this thing move? One, I listen to the 21-day course, and it's a refreshing. I mean, you listen to it today, you listen to the same CD 3 days from now, it's almost as if you listen to a different CD. You hear something different. Every time you listen to it, it's like a song. You know, you hear a song, you memorize it after you've heard it a couple times. Same thing with the 21-day course. There's a couple of CDs in there. You listen to them today, a couple of days later, you listen to it again, you hear something else. So what I do day to day is I start the day off by listening to a CD for that day. And then I apply what I've learned for that day. And every day I do a little bit more. What do? I learn from Sherman in the 21-day course. Once you get going, once you get your first deal, which it says in the 21-day course, put a little bit more money, put a little bit of money into your business to make it grow. Get you what's called, what I understand the word is now, it's called a herd. You get you a herd because you can't be at 2 places at one time. You can't do this by yourself. This is a team. You can't, you know, only Superman can do this by himself. You need a team, you need a herd, you need people to assist you. You need to bring people in, you need to team up with someone, as a 21-day course constantly preaches. What do I do during the day? I look for properties. Me and my herd, we put out an unlimited, my goal is to put out an offer, a written offer, of just like the 21-day course says, on everything on the MLS. Anything within my financial means. You know, we're taught from Sherman to be at $200,000 or less as we're putting out offers. My goal is to put out an offer on everything in my area that I service, that I know, everything in under $200,000. Not everything on the MLS. Correct that statement, because Sherman also teaches not to shop around and be in Northern Virginia one day and then the other side of Baltimore the next day. Focus on an area and know that area. And that's what I've done. I've focused on, I don't know if you want to call it the southern part of PG County, the bottom side of it. Everything from Central Avenue to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge to Alexandria. And I put an offer on everything that is under $200,000. That's what I do every day. Every day, that's what I do. 5-6 days a week. I apply a couple of hours a day, and then I spend the rest of the time with my family. This is a team effort. You can't do everything yourself. You drive yourself crazy, you would eliminate the whole reasoning, for having free time if I'm doing everything myself. I put out, my team, we put out about 150 offers a day, 5 days a week is what we put out. How I'm able to do that is I've created a herd. I put a herd, a group of people to help me to put these offers out. There's no way I could put these offers out. Who wants to sit down and hand write 150 offers? You fall under the table. Your hands fall. I bring on a group of people that I pay them on a commission basis of what, if we get a deal, they get a commission of it. So, and they understand that. And they put the offers out for me. What I get back from that each day, ironically, is a lot of counters, a lot of rejections, a lot of everything. And what I do with that is during the day is while they're putting the offers out, I go and look at the ones that counter. I go look and see, is it worth me calling a contractor out here? I run the comps on properties, which I learned how to do effectively through Jesse Marks, how to run a comp. I go out and look at properties all day. That's what I do. I do exactly what the 21-day course tells me to do. I case the neighborhoods. Sometimes people look at me funny. I'm pretty sure a couple people got the tag number to the car because I'm always riding up and down streets and slow and taking pictures of houses and trying to analyze what the neighborhood is like. And I talk to investors all day long. I'm on the phone with people asking them what they want, my investors that I've found, what they want. And I go look for what they want. And I have my herd put offers in neighborhoods, communities, and the kind of houses that they want. So in a day's time, I I may get 15 offers a day, which means I'm probably getting 50. But most of that, people are looking at it as a ridiculous offer because I guess they don't understand the concept, and I don't hear anything from a lot of the offers that we put out. But it's that small percentage, because my numbers are so high, it's that small percentage that I get feedback from. And that's what we focus in on a daily. This is one thing that I didn't follow with the 21-day course, which would have allowed me to close the deal even sooner if I had followed it, as I have done with the second deal. I got this deal here, and it took me, I want to say about 5 days to get a buyer. It took me 5 days to have a serious buyer to come up with the cash. Then it took me another week to week and a half because it fell on a holiday. That week fell on a holiday to get title clear. But as Sherman teaches in the 21-day course, he says as soon as you get the property under contract, the first thing you want to do is the next step you want to do is get title work done. So that's one obstacle out of the way. But to answer the question, sum it up, it took me 5 days to get this property under wrap once I got it under contract. It took me 5 days to find a cash buyer, and it took me about a week and a half after that, to actually get the money in my hand because we had to wait on title. Now, if I had followed the 21-day course to a T, I would have gotten title just the next day after I got this house on the contract, I would have gotten title work done. So that means I could have wrapped this whole deal up in 5 days. The moment I got a buyer, we could have closed the next day. So that's the story on that, how long it took me 5 days. By putting out 150 offers, it has opened, a window of opportunity, a blank imaginary window of opportunity. What it has allowed me to do is get a relationship with a number of people. Like, for instance, agents that represent sellers. They see my name all the time. They see my LLC name all the time. And they start to connect it together. When they see my LLC, they'll say that's a serious buyer. You know, I see his name all the time. I see that name, which is Nation's Home Buyers, by the way. I see that name all the time. And I get real estate agents that just call me out of the blue, and they'll say things like, you know, I have a buyer that's looking for XYZ. You know, this is, you know, that I guess that would come from part of secondary phase 2 marketing, but they would call me because they've seen my name so many times, and they would tell me about buyers that they have. And I put out so many offers. I mean, it's by putting out 150 offers, it just keeps the phone ringing. I'm learning the business by doing the business. And I know that just putting out that many offers, or just putting out offers in general, is better than just sitting at home, looking at the package, contradicting it, and saying it probably won't work. It's just like the last guy we got. But yeah, it's done a lot for me putting out that number of offers. It's brought back, it's opened so many different windows. I can't count. Time is irreplaceable. Money comes and goes. Time is that moment is only here now, and when it's gone, it's gone. So if you're going to do this, apply yourself more, you know, to this more than anything else you've ever done. If you have kids, what is it you wouldn't do for your kid? Apply that to the 21-day course. There's nothing, there's no stone, there's nothing. If you needed to walk up and down this street and pass the, you know, put flyers on every door. By the way, I've already done that on this street. If you needed to put flyers on every door, are you willing to do that? You know, it's 100 degrees outside, or it's, you know, it's kind of chilly in the fall or the winter. Are you willing to do that? You know, if you're not going to apply yourself as if, you know, you were doing something for your child or something of significance to you, then don't waste your time and your money. As Jesse always says, the door goes both ways. You know, if you're going to apply yourself, you're determined, you're ready to do it, you're ready to make a change in your life, you're looking for a change. How serious, how much of a sacrifice are you willing to make? Because this is going to require sacrifice. Nothing that comes of value comes easy. Now, I don't know anything that's of value comes easy. Mayweather just won his fight the other day. It wasn't an easy fight. It was his most challenging fight he ever had. Almost lost it. But the point is, he put everything he had into that fight. That's how he came out the victor. It's the same thing with this. You're gonna have to put everything you got into it, the kitchen sink, the whole 9 yards to make it work. Other than that, I can almost promise you it won't work. You know, you're wasting the most valuable thing, because money will come and go. You're wasting the most valuable thing. You wasted time, you know, from your life, your family, or whatever it is you do. If time is important to you, which is as it is to me. And I also hear Sherman speak of time. So you know, often that time is important to him. But my drive home advice for someone coming into the 21-day course: give it all you got, and the results will speak for themselves. I don't have any wings on my back. I can't fly across the sky. I can't walk on water. I'm not rich by far, but I can see where things going to be comfortable for me. I can see, you know, me being able to spend time with my family. I just got a new kid. He's a month old this weekend. This Saturday, he'll be a month old. And I can honestly look at this kid and say, you know, I say to him all the time, I say, boy, you know, you don't know it right now, but by the time you're 4 or 5 years old, before you're ready to walk into your school, rest assured, you'll be going to an Ivy League school. And you'll be going to a school that I can afford to send you there without having to go get a part-time job, without having to depend on my employer to pay me so I can pay for the school. It won't be about finances. You know, and I can truly say that it's not there yet, but he's not there yet either. So I can honestly say that I feel it in my heart that, you know, what the 21-day course has opened my eyes to is, again, financial freedom and time to spend with my family. Send my kids to the best schools. Spend time, you know, not only send them to the school, but I can actually send them to a school and participate in Parent Day. Be on the PTA for once. You know, I can actually be on the PTA and not worry about somebody calling me because I got to be at work. This has already panned out for me. With me creating my herd, as Sherman has encouraged you to do, I'm able to today now spend time with my kid, my oldest kid, at school. I'm able to go to her lunch every day. If that's what I want to do, I can sit at lunch at 12:45 every day on Andrew Air Force Base. She goes to school there. I can go to her school every day at 12:45 and have lunch with her if I want to, because I can set my schedule the way I want, and I still have income coming in to allow me to do that. So, you know, you have to have a reason for doing it. You can't just come in because you think you saw someone else doing something, and you think you can do it too. You know, everybody, you need a reason, because you need a drive. You need a drive. You need a reason. You know, my reason is, as I've said throughout the tape, I need time. I want time. I want money. I want time. I want to combine them together. But if you're going to come into this, if you're not ready to jump in knee deep, dig from within, you know, like if you watch the fight like Mayweather did, dig from within and find that extra win when you feel like you're out of breath. If you're able or willing to do that, then come aboard. Maybe we can partner up on a deal. But if you're not, don't waste your time, your money. Don't waste Sherman's time. Don't waste Real Investors' time. And more importantly, this is another thing that I'll speak for Sherman, because people do come to me often because they think, again, I got some wing on my back because I got this property and a few others. Because as Sherman said and Jesse said, now that my name is frequently shaped or mentioned around the room, I'm used as an example, because, you know, I'm only doing what the 21-day course told me to do. And I guess I'm used as the example to show that an ordinary person can do it. And I'm living proof that it can be done. People come to me and I guess they feel like they can talk to me because I'm not Sherman, far from it. And I'm not Jesse. So I guess they feel they can say things to me that they don't say they wouldn't or can't, feel like they can't say to either one of them. So I guess they feel comfortable talking to me because I guess they feel like I'm doing what I'm doing it, and I'm one of them at the same time. So I'm a team player, I guess. But when they come to me, it's almost with the same issues. It always starts with the same thing. I can't. You know, everybody starts off with I can't do this and I can't do that, and how do you do this and how do you do that? And my answer is always the same. Everything you're asking me is in 21-day course. Everything that you're saying to me, the answer to it is in the 21-day course. Sherman always says the only stupid question there is in this is the question that you don't ask. He says that verbally, and he says that on the 21-day course as well. But they'll come to me and they'll complain about they're putting out offers and they're not getting a response. And I'll say, well, I'm putting out offers and I'm getting a response. And they'll say that the person that they're speaking to, the homeowner of the property, the real estate agent, they're not coming down enough on the price, so I can't sell it. And I'll say, well, they're coming down on the price for me, and I'm selling it. So, you know, it kind of goes back to that, as you asked me at the beginning about people coming into the group. It's not even my group. I don't own Real Investors. I'm just a member. But it kind of gets under my skin when people down it. You know, people complain about it. They down it. You know, give it a black eye. when the story that they give me, I find holes in it. The answers that they seek are already there. It just goes back to they're not jumping in with their elbows. They're looking for, I would say, more of an easy task with a bigger reward. The things that I have done to get this property and the other 3, total now 5 altogether. I've done some of the things, you know, I've done a lot of stuff. I mean, I've been up, I've done it all. I've dig deep, you know, like Mayweather. If those of you who watched the fight just the other day, I dug deep. I dig deep every day. Every day I do it. Now I'm out 2 o'clock in the morning putting out signs. I'm still getting up early in the morning because I got to take my kids to school. You know, then I'm going to check on my herd to make sure that we're going to get today's product out, meaning the offers. Then I'm going to meet the investors for properties that they want to see, so I can let them in the houses. I'm going out to meet to look at properties, take pictures of counter offers. So it's almost as if, you know, this wholesaling is work. You know, it's a lot. It's a job. You know, and it can be difficult to do it with a full-time job, but that's just, you know, that's just something you're gonna have to work out and make it, you know, a person would have to work out and make it fit it in. It's that simple. You can, I tell my oldest kid, you can complain all day and give up, all day. You can complain, I can complain till the sun comes up and go back down about why things are not working out for me, whatever it may be, talking about this real estate game and real investors. I can complain all day, but just a word to the wise, if they see this video, you know, as Sherman says, you know, not to keep mocking what Sherman says, but what he says is the honest God truth. Suck it up, you know, make it work, suck it up. If there's a will, there's a way. If you're determined, you'll make it happen. It may be a little bit slower than the next, but you'll make it happen. Is that something? No, that's so for as far as anybody coming into the group, to sum it up, give it y'all. Jump into it knee deep. Give it everything that you got. And the rewards will flow themselves, will come before you. For me, I want to go into rehabbing. And to create passive income, I like to go into residential commercial. And ultimately do just rehabbing like this property, find it myself, rehab it myself, and sell it myself, get it sold, and buy and hold residential property. But I think wholesaling is the best way to start. If you lack on money, lack on experience, you know, you're newbie, the best way, hands down, is to jump into this with a trustworthy guru and go the wholesale route. Your money's safe and you got the right guidance. I would say you can find that, and of course I'm not getting paid for this, so it means something. I would say you can find that at Realinvestors.
All right. So if you had an aha moment, write it down and then be prepared to share it. Let me share my screen one last time before we get out of here. So this is how it's going to work. This is the Facebook group. Everybody see this okay? And right here you see day 1 homework. Please post your completed daily tasks and your aha moments from today's lessons here. And all you got to do is just write a comment. So as an example, I saw Diane, and thank you, Diane, mentioned a couple of things in our Zoom group, but the best place to post it is going to be right here in the Facebook group. And every day you'll see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. And these videos, these case studies, I will be uploading into the Facebook group. So I'll say day 2, case study, please watch and comment on your aha moment, and you can do it right here in the comment box. So that's how it'll work. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions of me or for me before we wrap anything up? And again, today We are using this sort of Zoom style. We can see each other's faces. If you've got a comment, you can just go ahead and shout it out. And if not, you guys got a little bit of homework to do. Not much, but a little bit for tonight. So please do your homework and get it uploaded. If you're not in the Facebook group yet, I'll do my best to get you in as soon as we finish up so you can upload it tonight. And if not, just hang on to it and upload it as soon as you get in, okay?
I got a question.
Yes.
Hi, about how much should I budget for this 21-day class?
I don't think I understand the question.
So I'll probably need a $1,000 EMD.
No, you are not
No?
allowed to ask those kinds of questions on day one.
No?
Where did I say
No?
anything about EMD tonight? Where did I say it?
I'm
No.
just trying to work out my budget.
I don't want you working out anything beyond what I'm giving you every day.
I got so excited. I'm sorry.
And there's nothing wrong getting excited, Diane, but repeat after me. Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread. Ask only what you need to.
And I'm only, by the way, Diane, you know I love you. I'm only making an
I love you.
example out of you because you know I love you so much. But I don't, as we go through this, it's okay to ask me about questions about what happened yesterday, but I'm not going to let anybody ask me questions about what we're doing tomorrow or next week. The kind of questions you are asking me are completely appropriate for somewhere around day 7, 8, or 9. But on day 1, So I don't want folks to get ahead. I want you to focus on today.
Okay.
And you were very good and very quick to point out your aha moments for today. Now do me a favor,
Thank you.
cut them and paste them in the Facebook group.
I went, but I wasn't accepted in the group yet.
I will make sure that gets taken care of. So just cut, paste, drop it into like a notepad or something. And then as soon as you are in the group, drop it onto the appropriate section in the Facebook group. Okay.
I'm ready.
And I know you are. And for Diane and everybody else, do me one favor, to the degree possible, make sure that whatever comments or whatever homework you're talking about, you post it in the appropriate section in Facebook. Because it's going to wind up just being this running log. And if you start talking about day 19 or day 19 homework back on day 1, it's going to get kind of crazy. Just to the degree possible, look for the day and say, okay, that was the homework for today. Let me drop it in that section. Even if you wind up having to take a couple of days to get to it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions from anybody else? All right. So
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Those of us with partners, do they upload their homework too?
It depends on whether or not your partner wants to be your partner or they want to go through this by themselves on their own. If they want to go through this by themselves on their own, then I would strongly suggest they get in touch with Lisa, or better yet, go on to 21daysrealestateriches.com and go ahead and sign up. If it was me, or if it was my kids or my relatives, I'd tell them to go through it on their own. That way they have direct access. That way because her answers are going to be different than your answers. You with me? And at a certain point in time, we're going to take all this stuff and we're going to put it into REIU. And once we put it into REIU, you have to have your own individual access, your own individual account to access it. So if they're just kind of like going along for the ride, they're going to be here in and out, that's fine. You know, let them sort of look over your shoulder. But if they really want to go through this program and really learn it and use it and do it, I would suggest they get their own individual access. And when we get into some of the tools, and again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because that's only going to confuse. But there's going to be a point I start giving you guys some tools. All those tools are individually based; they're not family based. Okay, if that makes sense. Let's put this. It'll make more sense when we get there. Okay. All right, you guys got homework. I need to get you guys some access. I need to upload some files. We are done for tonight, and I told you, and I mean it, we're only going to go for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm breaking my own rule, but I told you guys that Howard's case study was a little bit longer than some of the other ones, but I really, really, really want to try to start on time and end on time, okay? Thank you, guys. Any other questions you may have, please feel free to ask them in the Facebook group, okay? Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Love you. God bless you. See you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.